guys, how's things? So, we're in the kitchen, as you can see, which is a wee bit of a change rather than being in the garage. So, today what we're going to talk about is we're actually going to talk about this monstrosity, which is the sun visor for the Classic Mini. Now, yeah, they're flimsy, they break. One, basically when I got these off the car, one had already been broken. So the idea was to replace these in some way. Now the idea, which obviously other people have done and are selling similar products, but I thought to myself, what would be cheaper, buying the product or making it? And obviously it's going to be making it. Now the idea would be obviously replacing this with a piece of Perspex stroke, acrylic, and utilising friction hinges to create, sun visor. So what I did is I went on to one of these acrylic sites. I can't remember exactly the one I went on to. And I got the product made up. I got it sent through, and yeah, it wasn't exactly as described. Now, my request would be for dark tinted grey, transparent Perspex. Okay, and it's obviously cut in the size, and I'll quickly just show you what they thought was transparent. See that? And I had about 5 or 6 emails from going back and forth, basically saying, have you taken the wrapping off it? So basically, when these come through, these have got this kind of plastic sheeting on it. So when I put it up, they're like, oh, have you got it off the back, you got it off the front, that kind of thing. If you put it up towards the light, you should be able to see through it. Now guys, you'll probably see a reflection, but you won't see me through it. Ta-da! So finally got a replacement, got it sent through today, and we have this now. As you can see, through it, which is much better. So this is what we've got. We've got 5mm acrylic thickness, which is dark grey. If we obviously do put this up to a light, you can see through the lights at the back there. You see that. It is quite dark, yeah. But the idea would be to utilise that as the equivalent of this. So we measured up and we gave it an equivalence of size together. So what I did then is I then purchased small little friction hinges. You'll see that, yeah, which is obviously you can tighten up and slacken off depending on what kind of resistance you want. And the idea is obviously to mount that and then to the Mini. Now the Mini, when you look at the sun visor, it's only got 2 holes. So the plan of action is, because obviously that's got 4, it would be 4 holes obviously because we're doubling up, is to take the holes that we have for these, which is just little screws, and what we'll do is we'll widen the size of the hole, and what we'll do is we'll put in M5 riv nuts into that, and then what we'll do is we'll utilise M5 screws to go into that. Yeah, that's the plan. So since we've got the ones that aren't actually going on, what we'll do is we'll utilise this as basically a temporary one until we fit the correct ones in place. So what we'll do is we'll mark all this up. Basically, we'll take the exact holes that we have for this here, and what we'll do is we will put in the riv nuts, and then we'll mark up the secondary holes, drill secondary holes, put in there the second riv nut, and then what we'll do is we'll mark up this to match, and hopefully it works. Hey, this is all an experiment. There is other people who have got this as a product, who are doing this themselves, but the price of these things is ridiculous. It's absolute nonsense. You know, the markup on them must be absolutely astronomical, to be perfectly honest. You know, for these, two of these, plus, you know, two of these, it's like 25, 30 quid, you know what I mean? And then they're selling, sorry, people are selling a similar product, you know, for, you know, a couple hundred quid, you know, which is madness. You know, with that kind of stuff, you know, you can still make a profit and still have a kind of semi-low cost item. But yeah, that kind of just put me off, so I thought I'd do it myself. So what we'll do is we'll go into the garage. We will look at the parts of the Mini, which will need to be you know, fixed for this system to work, and then we'll put it all together and then hope for the best that it all works, and you know, happy days. Okay, let's get cracking, guys. Let's go. So we've got another issue with the Perspex, which I only just noticed. Now you've seen the first one, which was the solid black, which should be tinted. You can't see through this one at all. Now this is a 150mm wide. This one, which is the right Perspex that I need, is 130mm wide. So they've even got this wrong. So I've had to send them another email to try and get it resolved, whether they send it again or whether they just give me my money back, because that's twice now. So yeah, we'll see what happens. So anyway, guys, let's go back to what I'm doing, and hopefully there'll be more progress. So here we go. This is the kind of toolage I'm going to be using. As you can see, there is basically the tool for the riv nuts. Now, as you can see, I've had to put extensions on them. The reason for that is that with the really short arms on these, you can't get the power to close it, so that the riv nut actually crushes. What we're going to be using is we're going to be using M5 riv nuts here, as you can see. We also have M5 nuts. These are hex nuts at the top. I've obviously got my hinges, and we have I think this is a 7mm drill bit, and that's so that obviously the riv nut can go through the right hole. I've got another wee drill here. This is a 4, and the reason for that is the actual hole diameter on these is just slightly too small for the screws to go through, so I just need to kind of nip them out a little bit, and we've basically just got you know, a wee tool to tidy things up. So that's the plan. So what we're going to do is I'll go and drill the holes that I need to drill, and then what we'll do is we'll basically crush in the riv nuts, and we'll get set up for measuring the right position for the acrylic here. So let's get going. Yeah. So as you can see, guys, that is the riv nuts in. You'll see obviously a little bit of damage there, and that was because one of the riv nuts went tits up and I had to take it back out again, and that's the secondary one. These are in the original holes where the sun visor was placed. So what we'll do is I'll screw in the hinges, and we'll just have a wee quick look. So there we go. That's it in, just with one screw at the moment. As you can see, well, it's pretty dark in there. There we go. On both sides, these just need to be adjusted slightly. Now, obviously I need to be careful when putting these on, because obviously we do have rubbers that are going to go in there, but we'll put the rubbers on and then remount these later. But what we'll do is we'll get this set up so that we can get the acrylic in the right position, and then we'll mark everything up and we'll get it all yeah, all put together. So as you can see, yeah, I might have had to do a few modifications along the way, but kind of got there. I'm just hoping everything kind of works when the seals and everything go in. I'm sure I'll be able to resolve it. But here we go, guys. This is the one I've been using as basically a kind of test, which is the ones I'm not going to use, which is the black ones. Whether you can actually see that, Obviously the other ones that I've got are transparent, but you know, it's and then you just lift it up. There you go. Lift it down, lift it up, lift it down, lift it up. And that's it. Obviously I'm not going to use that because I know people see anything, but that's quite good, I think. Seems to work. So this is it now, guys. This is it all kind of put together. And just a wee tiny bit of trimming on the screws. But I have changed the screws. And I've changed them to these ones. The reason for that is they're not sticking out as much. So when I put this up, it doesn't hit and leave it at a lower angle. So it actually kind of takes it right up. And same with this one. What I did with this one, actually, I've put little kind of spacers in, which I might do in the same on this, and that allows it to go up in a good position. So what I'll probably do is I'll maybe do the same on this one. As you can see, that one's got little spacers in, just some washers, small washers, and it allows it just to come up. Obviously this is not the material I'm going to use. Again, I contacted the company in relation to the issue, and they're sending out for the third time, hopefully the right product, but that's it all kind of done. And as I said, all I need to do is just tidy up cut off the end of these screws here, and we've got the right, so they're basically flush, and that's it. Wait for the new material to come in, and I'll drill the holes and put them in properly. So guys, we have third time's the charm from the acrylic store. This is the correct one now, it's the correct size, it's the correct material, so issue is now resolved. That was a pain in the arse. I think it was just as much frustrating for me as it was for the customer service guy, because obviously he's trying to he's putting the order in and getting things right, and then obviously the warehouse is getting it incorrect. Obviously I've not taken this film off yet. But what I'll do is I'll do both of them, get 1, 2, and get these drilled out, and then we'll get them screwed in, and I'll show you in a bit. So guys, that is it, complete. You'll have a wee look, and how good's that? Both done, finally. Hopefully they work out. It's like having instead of having a pair of sunglasses on, you've got one of these. Hopefully that is going to be sufficient. If not, we'll try something else. Good day.